Hello everyone, if you were not aware, Force Admiral just released into early access on January 27th. I've gotten about 5 hours in and thought I'd just give you a quick overview and my initial thoughts on the game. Similar to games you might know, such as War on the Sea or Sea Power, made by Drydock Dreams and published by Micropose. This game's a jump back in 1942 where you take control of naval task forces centered around aircraft carriers in the Pacific. This differentiates itself from War on the Sea by emphasizing the command simulation aspect of fleets. Instead of microwaving what shell your escort carriers have, you'll focus more on things such as fleet positioning, setting fighter screens, sending out aerial reconnaissance patrols, managing flight ops, and deciding what sorties will be flown and when. You have a limited window from, at least on the mission I was playing, about from 6:30 to 6:30, so you got to take in that time aspect, and obviously each sortie takes so many minutes to load the bombs and takes up flight deck space and stuff. So it's more of a focus on the carrier management than maybe direct combat operations. I guess to give you an answer up front, if you were to ask me if you should buy it, if you enjoy these type of naval games, I'd definitely say it's worth the purchase. If you're kind of on the fence or you feel like you've played these games a lot, maybe wait till more content comes out. Currently, I think there's 4 to 6 missions, and some of them are kind of repeats or alternatives of the same mission. Just thought I would stop here real quick and also mention that there is a custom battle option you can do. I'm a clown and can't read, so I didn't realize that was in the menu, so I haven't touched it yet. So take that into consideration. There's probably a lot more gameplay than I thought there was going into it. Next, I'm going to take you through a single mission to give you an idea of what the game plays like and kind of how the rhythm plays out. It's mostly looking at maps and planning routes and then watching your aircraft perform that, though there is a nice feature where you can direct control fighter aircraft, so it gives a little more fun to the air battles. You can be a little more in the action. So getting right into it, right now I'm setting my fighter screens here in the background. In the previous screen, I was just setting up my air searches to try and find the enemy fleet. In this scenario, the enemy fleet already knows where I'm at, so I'm trying to get a bunch of fighter screens up right early in the morning and keep constant combat air patrol up to maybe give me some early warning or early interception. And now by this point, you're seeing my air searches are out, heading on their flight paths. I got a bunch of cap up. An enemy recon plane has already flown by and we shot it down, but it alerted me that it's reported our position, so I know I got an enemy strike coming in here pretty quickly, relatively speaking. So what I do is move my fighters to as many fighters as I can to the top deck, and then obviously those ones that are already flying. That way I can issue the order to scramble on the aircraft carriers, and I'll have as many planes as I possibly can up to engage the incoming waves. Here in the background, they just called radar contact on that enemy strike package, so what I'm doing in the back here is telling both carriers to scramble all the fighters on their deck. The following air battle took about 45 minutes to complete. I'll cut a bit of the interesting parts and footage I got from it and just let you to see the visuals and sounds. Pretty accurate here for a minute. Here we stumble upon the second wave that they sent in. This one does not have a fighter escort. I think they've balanced the missions pretty well, because on this one, even though I have a bunch of fighters up, you see I'm shooting them down, it definitely still feels down to the wire. About half my fighters have already returned to base or been shot down because of lack of ammunition, and the previous wave had fighter escort as well. later on in the battle here. This is actually my last fighter with ammunition, so I'm really trying to conserve ammo here and knock these last 3 planes out of the sky, but I actually run dry here just a moment. These last 2 planes managed to run the gauntlet and at least do torpedo runs on my carriers. So after them missing their torpedoes, they kind of flew off. I recovered all of my fighters. At this time, I sent out a air search group. The ones I sent out early in the morning haven't found anything yet, and it's about 12 o'clock, so I'm sending out a second group to cover another quadrant. About an hour after I launched that second search group, they've found the enemy fleet, so I have a general idea where I need to head. It takes me a while, I believe 1 full day, to get positioned to actually attack these. It starts pulling away from me, so I get concerned that it's just going to outrun me. So what I do is go ahead and issue a dive bomber only sortie, and my hope is to damage it so it slows them all down and I can close the distance and hit them with torpedoes. Nailed him. Oh, let's see it. Burn him. Here, my second strike wave is coming in from the second carrier. It does even more damage to him. These strikes actually end up sinking one that I didn't catch on camera. And the other gets dead in the water, and then I send a second strike out later in the day to finish him off. I think it was actually the next morning because the flight operations had to cease because of nighttime. That pretty much wraps up this battle. I do send another sortie out because at this time I wasn't sure if I sunk that other carrier, but I just run into 2 cruisers, sink one and do damage to the other, and then I keep the mission complete, so I finished it up. Yeah, just to recap, the graphics in this game are really great. I mean, I'm rendering this at 1080, so it looks pretty general right now, but on my native resolution, it looks great. Gameplay's fun once I got the hang of it. A little bit of a steep learning curve, but yeah, if you're a naval command enthusiast, then you'll love this one. If you've somehow made it this far, please like and subscribe. And I got more stuff coming out. Probably shift more to the Arma editing and modding scene, and then from time to time do games like this that I enjoy. Thanks for watching, and have a fantastic day.